The drums heralding gubernatorial elections in Edo and Ondo states are sounding louder, and the rhythm is getting clearer as the days move closer. However, the dancers seem to be changing their steps or improvising as the political wheel continues to turn in both states. We will bring you up to speed on the state of play in these two states, and also today on Political Update, we will continue our conversation of solutions to the security issues bedeviling the nation as the nation's security chiefs re-strategize to ensure safety of lives in some of the nation's troubled spots. I am Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. All the issues threatening to undermine the unity and cohesion of the ruling All Progressive Congress will soon be resolved. This came out after President Muhammadu Buhari granted audience to the Progressives Governors Forum Monday.
The meeting between President Muhammadu Buhari and the Progressives Governors Forum, represented by its chairman and Governor of Kebbi State Atiku Bagudu, as well as his counterparts from Plateau and Jigawa states, was in response to the crisis rocking the APC. Facing governorship elections in two states before the end of the year, the governing party had within the last 1 week lost the governor of Edo State and the deputy governor of Ondo State to the opposition party and are expected to participate in the polls. The national chairman of the party, Adams Oshomole, had also been suspended following a judicial decision. The meeting held behind closed doors discussed the best way forward in the interest of the governing party and indeed the administration.
The reason for our visit is to discuss with him as our party leader, as the leader that millions of Nigerians trust, party issues and the position of the progressive governors to support all steps to unify and bring about peaceful resolution in our party, the All Progressive Congress. And Mr. President listened attentively and discussed with us as a father, as a party leader. And it gave us all the assurance we needed to know that resolution of contentious issues will soon be arrived at.
Governor Atiku Bagudu appreciated the genuine concerns being expressed by the APC family members and indeed Nigerians over the crisis, assuring them that President Muhammadu Buhari is equally worried and committed to finding lasting solutions.
At all times, Mr. President have shown that he's a Democrat. He's not running the party. Yes, he's the party leader. He allows party organs to do and decide what should be done. He's very, very hesitant to use his standing, even as party leader, talk less of his authority as Mr. President and of the country to direct things. But at all times, he has been alive to the issues, and with the level of detail he have about all what is happening and the number of people he has listened to and heard, I believe whatever needs to be done, including the possibility of calling any organ of the party that is necessary to the resolution of lingering issues, will be done immediately.
President Buhari had last Sunday discussed similar issues with the Senate President Ahmed Lawan.
The governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress in this year's gubernatorial election in Edo State is Pastor Osagie Ize Iyamu. Ize Iyamu emerged after the statewide primary on Monday, says he will rebuild the bridges for the overall good of the party. Let's see how the whole primary went yesterday.
The result was announced after the returning officers of the 18 local government areas took turns to present the outcome. Resident Electoral Commissioner, INEC, Edo State, and other officials from Abuja witnessed the announcement.
Before the primaries commenced, we got notice of withdrawal from 2 of the candidates. But in keeping with the provisions of the Electoral Act as amended, we insisted that the election must go on. And the election went on. We here now have the results as collected. In total, between the candidates or aspirants, Dr. Pius Ozugbu and Osaro Obaze and Pastor Eze Yamu. Osaro Obaze has a total votes of 2,724 votes, while Dr. Pius Odugu has a total votes of 3,776 votes, and Pastor Eze Yamu has a total votes of 27,838 votes. From the reports and the calculation here, Pastor Osage Eze Yamu, who scored a total votes of 27,838 votes, has the highest number of votes cast in the election, and is hereby returned the candidate of APC for the forthcoming governorship election in Edo.
The exercise held in the 192 wards across the state. It was with compliance with extant laws prohibiting gathering of more than 20 persons.
Let's now join Chris Azebanwe, who is the spokesperson of the APC in that state. Can you hear me, Chris? Can you hear me? You are on to political update.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, just tell us in short, how did the process go yesterday? And while you are doing that, can you reduce the volume of your TV set? Yeah, go ahead. Can you tell us how the process went yesterday, especially in compliance with the new normal, especially in terms of social distancing, and how your party, the party faithful, responded?
Well, you must be aware that Governor Obaseki came up with a budget highlighting the COVID-19 protocols as an excuse to say that was why he was supposed to direct primaries in Edo State. But because we are not a party of impunity, we were determined to comply with the protocols of the COVID-19 Gazette. So what we did was take into cognizance that there will be officials of the police and INEC, in addition to the returning officers at each ward level. We gave instructions to our party members that no more than 15 of them should go to any polling point at a point in time. They should wear face masks and they should maintain social and physical distancing, so that we will not be, seen to be disobeying the COVID-19 protocols.
All right. So
when the results came,
no, go ahead.
Okay, when the results came in, the various returning officers from the local government who received figures from the ward officers were able to confirm that the elections were free, fair, transparent, and peaceful.
All right, so that we'll be looking at this space, of course, because elections is just around the corner. The candidates promised to build fences, and how is that going? Have you hit the ground running?
We have hit the ground running. We have always maintained that the few discordant notes that were being heard within the ranks of the APC was generated by Governor Obaseki. And since he has voluntarily exited from our ranks as a member of the party to join PDP, as far as we are concerned, we now remain one united political family.
All right, Chris Azebanwe, thank you for joining us on this program. I was thinking you would say a bit more about the outlook of the party in terms of the elections itself. Moving on, a federal high court sitting in Port Harcourt has granted an interim order restraining Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki from participating in the Edo State PDP governorship primary, pending the determination of a suit brought before it by one of the governorship aspirants, Honorable Omoroge Ogbede Ihama. Justice E.A. Obile also directed all parties in the matter to maintain status quo with accelerated hearing on the matter bill for Wednesday, the 24th of June. The interim order, however, did not bar other candidates from participating in the said primary. Now, with Edo and Ondo elections drawing closer, opposition parties say they are committed to peaceful and credible elections.
Major opposition political party, the PDP, the National Secretariat has been a beehive of activities, with aspirants coming to either pick up expression of interest and nomination forms, or submitting same.
Our primary election will be free, fair, clean, clear, and democratic.
The situation is same at the National Secretariat of the Action Democratic Party, ADP.
Political parties are very important. They are key elements of democracy if you want to develop democracy in any environment.
Meanwhile, it is another time for a reminder on political players that election is not war.
We need peace in Edo. We need peace in Ondo. The bottom line is one person has got to run affairs of the state. Whether we like, it's not going to be two persons.
Our political parties must be seen and that they have internal democratic process.
The Edo and Ondo State governorship elections are slated for September and October 2020, respectively.
Now to the second segment, commerce, investment, human toil, wealth creation, and even elections cannot go on seamlessly where there is security or there are security threats. The Northeast and Northwest have been most affected in recent times, with the president giving a stern marching order last week. This week, governors had meetings with the security chiefs, and let's hear details.
Meeting has been able to look at issues from both the political, the social, and the security aspects. A meeting which has given us a lot of hope and has inspired us to redouble our efforts in dealing with this menace.
We have found solutions and we are going to apply them, and very soon peace and order will be restored in our various states, inshallah.
The people must cooperate and stop patronizing the bandits by way of giving them information. All information that will help in curbing this banditry should be given to law enforcement agents, not to the criminals.
In the same vein, governors of the North Central have met the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and is still on the issue of security.
Earlier that security is topmost priority of this administration, and we're doing our best to ensure that the nation is secured. As northern region governors, we met and decided that we must tackle insecurity head-on. So basically, my committee is to liaise with the various security agencies and security operatives to ensure that the necessary security architecture is put in place, and to ensure that it is enforced. At the end of the day, we get the best secured region and that of the country at large.
We met in the National Security Advisor's Office with northern governors with the Inspector General of Police and other security agencies at NSA office, which we discussed seriously on the issues of insecurity, which the Chief of Staff invited me today to come and brief him about the issue of insecurity in my state, which I did. And we have discussed about it, and he understands where we're going. And the Zamfara State Government and the security are doing its best to make sure that we curtail the issue of this insecurity.
All right, joining us is Honorable Prestige Josie, member representing Aba North South Federal Constituency and a member of the House Committee on Army. Thank you for joining us. Before I go straight to the questions, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Very short notice. Now, we started this conversation on Friday, and we're talking about the issue of security. It's becoming a hydra-ended monster. You start with the chiefs. You've discussed being a member of the committee. What are the challenges?
I think basically the challenges has to do with the willpower of the security chiefs. I've been in the Committee on Army for the past 5 years. I've visited the Northeast not less than 6 times. Borno, Yola, Adamawa, and other states in the northeast. I've also personally been to Zambisa Forest at a time. The committee went. I've visited the hospitals. I've visited almost every point that a civilian had to get to. And I think the security chiefs should be the people that every Nigerian should look onto to change this narrative.
The president had given the marching order last week, and the governors are here. But in terms of support for these processes, can we say that we had a headway at a time? How come the reversal?
That's what I still say, that it has to do with security chiefs. For the National Assembly, we have given every necessary support needed by all the security agencies. And in fact, I think their budget and every other thing that has to do with the support needed from us has been expressly done by the House, from 8th Assembly to the 9th Assembly. And each time you go there, some of the things they complain about is lack of equipment. You know, sometimes we don't tell ourselves the truth. They basically lack equipment to forge ahead with winning this particular war. And that is why I am of the opinion, I've been of the opinion that there should be a total rejig of the security architecture of this country in order for us to achieve our desired goal.
Let's now move on a bit based on some of the discussion we've spoken about. We are trying to, move out of this lockdown and allowing the business to begin to roll, things to begin to unfold generally. In terms of your constituency and the support you've been given, what is the reaction like? Have people returned to work? Are things going fine, or as the prevailing new normal and the circumstances affected the people so badly? Because this is, on one side we're battling security, at the other side there's also the problem of the economy and people coming back to revitalize it.
Yes, Aba is a commercial and industrial nerve center of the East. It's truly affected every aspect of the ordinary residents of Aba and Abia State in general. What problem I think we have is that most people, up to as we speak now, still don't believe there's anything like COVID-19. They don't observe the protocols. They believe to a certain extent that this is something that some of the government officials are using to enrich themselves. It's a ploy to allow them go in, lock themselves up, while they have opportunity of making themselves rich from whatever process that comes into the coffers of government as means of taking care of this. It has really affected our people. And what I have really done within this period is to make sure I continue to sensitize the people on the need for them to observe all the necessary protocols from the Ministry of World Health Organization, Ministry of Health, NCDC, and then especially the personal hygiene. And like I said, the Aba is like a market all over. Provision of water for washing of hands, soaps, sanitizers has been in top gear. And like I said, the sensitization process has been on. It has truly affected our people. And as we speak, I think market days opens 3 times in a week. And with the lockdown from state to state,
that's not much for a town like that.
It's not much. So for those 3 days, a lot of people, there's a lot of stampedes, a lot of people that want to go out that day, and along the line, you see the observance of social and physical distancing might not be really observed. Other protocols might also be really observed, like people counting money after counting money. You see them even touch their lips or touch their tongue to count the money and all that. So these are the problems that we've been having within this period. But I think with proper sensitization that is going on now, a lot of these narratives will change.
That's a key location in terms of industrialization in this country, especially in terms of the value chain. For those doing a lot of leather works, shoemaking and all that. In terms of availability of raw materials, has it also affected them? And what have they been able to do to perhaps, have some wiggle room in getting access to raw materials and allowing that industry to grow?
Oh, yeah, thankful to the federal government adding the ports as one of the essential services within this COVID lockdown. The ports have been open, and most of the raw materials are imported from outside the country. So the ports have been there, people have been clearing their goods and bringing them in. Some of the locally sourced materials, like some of the leather, they get it from Kano. Those ones also under essential services, so they are allowed. So in terms of sourcing of raw materials, I think that has not been a problem. The problem has been that during the lockdown, they've not been able to have, the opportunity of maximizing the time to produce those their goods and all that. But if it is in terms of sourcing of raw materials, I think the COVID-19 have done little or not much to affect them.
I have a two-pronged thing. It's a question, it's also a suggestion. Are you collaborating with some of your colleagues, for instance, from Kano? If we have leather in the north, we have those who want leather works in the south, establishing a link, a value chain, instead of relying so much on on imports.
Yes, like I said, Kano alone cannot supply the quantity of leather that is needed in Aba. We have about 15,000 leather workers, 16,000 people that work in the leather industry in Aba. So Kano alone cannot produce all the leather that is needed.
But are they producing some?
Yeah, they're producing. And so there's that collaboration. That's why I said, even during this lockdown, there has been that synergy, between the governments of Kano and Abia, to bring in some of all the raw materials that are needed within this period.
Before we go, let's quickly take one final story, and that's about the new member of the National Executive Council of the APC. Let's take him. He's a former Attorney General of Rivers State. He resumed office yesterday.
We now have a Deputy National Secretary who will assist our very capable and professional National Secretary of the party in the discharge of his duties as the administrator and the head of administration of the Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress.
All right, Wagu Bombs, former Attorney General of Rivers State, has formally assumed office as Deputy National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Finally, a lot of people are a bit worried, looking at what is playing out in Ondo and Edo State, about the concept of ideologies. We've seen crisscrossing from parties. Is that about the candidate alone? What about the party and the people?
Yeah, it's all about internal democracy and the party. It is the party, because most political parties are not run democratically. You see, if somebody's interest is being pursued for a particular purpose, and that will affect the interest of the generality of the members of the party. And when that is playing out, there's no way we can get it all the best way we want things to go by.
All right, thank you. We have had Honorable Ose on the program today, and of course we were also joined by Chris Azemba all the way from Edo State. Of course, on Thursday there is also the PDP primary out there in Edo State. We'll be giving you updates from there, as well as what will unfold from there on Friday. My name is Fisaya Ogunfe. Thanking you for watching this episode of Political Update and keeping you in God's hands until we meet again. Bye-bye now.